Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble news channel. There are many things going on with you at the moment. The government of Germany sold some Bitcoin. While Jerome Powell was in Congress today, he gave hints about when rate cuts might happen, which would be rocket fuel for the German government. The latest inflation numbers, on the other hand, show that things have gotten a little better. Watch the whole video for today. This video is what I want to show you, but is now a good time to sell your coin and next buy it back. What caused it? Bitcoin could go back up if something goes wrong. Just know that the German government now has 22,800 Bitcoin, which is less than half of what it had before. They have no more Bitcoin to offer for sale. Half of what they own has been sold, which is good, but the other half is still there. Taking a look at the 25% drop we experienced in the first half is also interesting. It's possible that the price of a Bitcoin will drop to $39,000 if Germany sells the other half. Now, I'm going to disagree with that a little because it wasn't just the German government selling that brought us down. Anthony Scaramucci, a politician, explains. What's going on? I know I asked this a lot, but that asset class is so unstable. We need to ask the question again because it was above 70, and now we are here. You said you'd invite me back if we reached 100,000 by the end of the year. I will for sure. I like it. 100,000. But why does Bitcoin keep going down? There are many things going on at the same time. There are Bitcoin sales by the German government. It has been 10 years since MT Box filed for bankruptcy, and now about 140,000 Bitcoins will be made available. So Skybridge next to a castle would take part in that. All of these things are happening at the same time that there is some push to sell the ETF. Because of this, Bitcoin is a risky investment when that happens. It was also halved. I don't want to get into Bitcoin jargon with you, but I think our fans know what that means. Okay, when the value of Bitcoin is cut in half, miners have to sell some Bitcoin to keep making money. This puts short-term pressure on Bitcoin, but we still love its core values in the long term. And really, not much has changed. Like I said, I think it will be 170,000 after halving, but I think it can get to 100,000 by the end of the year. For now, it has to keep going. One last quick point. Yes. As soon as possible, FTX will give about $16 billion in cash to buyers who had accounts at FTX. I think that's great news for the Bitcoin bubble, since a lot of that was in Bitcoin. It was put on hold during the bankruptcy. Unfortunately, it was turned into dollars at low numbers for Bitcoin, but it will soon be sent back to those account users. We believe that a lot of that money may go into the asset. I was going to ask you that. So FTX already sold this for cash when they went bankrupt. Crypto owners are about to get back $16 billion in cash. So let's take a look at where we stand now, after this latest drop. The German government still has less than half to sell, but the institutional market in the US is buying. Right now, a lot of trades are going on from weak hands to strong hands. People who own Bitcoin ETFs are buying the drop. It was just yesterday that they bought over 5,240 Bitcoin. Germany's bags are being bought by a huge amount of money. To give you an example from yesterday, US Bitcoin ETFs bought almost the same amount of Bitcoin that was sold abroad. We are seeing the shift of wealth between generations in real time between countries. And while interest rates aren't going down right now, they will very, very soon. The committee has said that they don't think it will be right to lower the goal range for the federal funds rate until they are more sure that inflation is going to stay near 2%. The first quarter of this year's statistics did not support such a high level of confidence. The most recent inflation numbers, on the other hand, show some small progress. More good data would make us more confident that inflation is steadily moving towards 2%. Of course, we could expect this official turn to happen in September, November, or December, if it doesn't happen at the next official meeting at the end of July. We are still making choices at each meeting. If we loosen policy too much or too soon, it could stop or even go back on the success we've seen on inflation. That being said, we have made progress in the last 2 years in both lowering inflation and slowing down the job market. So high inflation is not the only risk we face. If policymakers loosen up too late or too little, it could hurt the economy and jobs more than it needs to. When the committee thinks about making changes to the goal range for the federal funds rate, they will continue to carefully look at new data and how it affects the changing outlook, the balance of risks, and the right path for monetary policy. Don't get this wrong, when rates do go down, it's great for risky investments like crypto. And this has always been my plan first. When the event happened, this channel was ready. We thought there might be a crash. This is how I've always felt about Bitcoin being cut in half. There are actually so many big events in crypto that if you ask me if I think prices will be volatile on the day of a big event, my answer is yes. Because of this, I think it will come down to buy the room or sell the news I'm not selling my crypto now to buy it back when the price drops. I think that trying to time the market is a waste of time. Some of you may be yelling at me, you should have sold way up here at the very least. I should have. That would have been smart. I like to buy when prices are going down in a bear market and sell when prices are going up in a bull market. In the middle, I just hold on to the worst case scenario. If we do hit $39,000 BTC, I think that's a good support level around $40, $42,000. It's also possible that a few days ago was the local bottom. No one can see what will happen. At the moment, Bitcoin is still somewhere between being cheap and being a good investment. It's best to buy when prices are low and start selling near the orange line when people start to wonder if this is a bubble. We are still in chopsolidation, also known as sideways summer. It was just reported that I will be on a panel at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. I'm the one on stage, with executive roles at Kraken, Gemini, and Robinhood. The people who run the platforms are some of the smartest people in crypto. What comes next? I'm going to ask them. This is going to be great. I hope to see it. There are 3 days left until ticket prices go up. You still have 3 days to use the code altcoin every day to get 10% off your ticket. The link is below. Anyhow, I'd like to share something with everyone. This just came out of the press 2 hours ago. Cardano puts out Node 9.0, which makes the Chang hard fork possible. That's Voltaire's age in a box. That's Chang hard fork. We are ready to fork. The Node program is now out there. It's now up to the Cardano node runners to make it happen. What does this hard fork do, and why is it important? With this hard fork, the holders of 80 will soon have direct power over the $13 billion blockchain. But one thing that is so much better than all of them is that, thanks to Chang, we can now access all of your brilliant ideas as a group. You can have your say. That's what makes them different. You don't have a say if you hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana. If you use Cardano, you can, which is what will make the most difference forever. How low can Bitcoin get on this post? Bots can take over the comments part of YouTube and Twitter to say it again. So if you want to talk, you need to have the chat. You left a comment and I'm answering it. Click on the link below. I'll see you tomorrow.